the Razor TRL, Razor Trail. It's their attempt to take the Razor and everything you love about it and put it in a package that can handle some trail. Comes in at 8 ounces, and the stacks that they gave us, which we should get some calipers. But they're giving us 32 in the heel, 28 in the forefoot, which if you've been paying attention, that's higher than the Razor XS. Maybe they're including the little lugs on the bottom of the outsole. Not sure, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. So a little bit more stack, a little bit more cushion.
That would explain some things about some of the things that we're about ready to say, but
yeah. So this was the one, and I hope nobody gets too mad at me for saying this, but this is what I think. This was the one that made me really think, like, is Skechers brilliant or are they lazy in creating this shoe? Because it's just like throwing on some, like a thicker outsole with some lugs and giving like a toe protector and then calling it a trail shoe. And we'll talk about what worked in that and what didn't. But Matt, I'll stop talking before I say too many stupid things. Why don't you go?
I really wanted to like this shoe. There's a lot of really good potential here. The outsole is more durable than other Skechers have been so far. Yes, I did tear through this, but at least I didn't shred the outsole as much. I am killing the nubs because I've used this for too much road. The upper is extremely comfortable with one exception, where if not for this toe guard, this would be the most comfortable upper of any of the Skechers Razors, where I could wear this sockless and not have any problem. Just even with socks, this toe guard was very uncomfortable and made the shoe feel short, and definitely took me several runs to break in where I didn't feel this as much. So definitely, even though everything else in the upper is very comfortable, midfoot is fairly secure with some of the overlays. This toe guard caused some problems, and unfortunately, it does almost feel like there's more stack height than the normal Razor. Where on the road, this shoe feels fine, but taking it on trail, it's just not stable. The midsole is very soft. The grip is not maybe as optimal as we would like, unless you're running on well-groomed trails. So I actually found this to be very unstable, and I've only been able to do short mile, like maybe 6 to 7 mile runs. And even then, I run like 70 to 80 miles on a weekly basis. I was starting to fatigue at 6 to 7 miles in this shoe. So just somebody who likes the Razor and has very stable mechanics is going to do really well in this shoe. But people who are expecting a true trail shoe, I don't think this hit the mark. I think David did the best job of describing this as an all-terrain Razor. Yes, you're going to chew through the lugs really quick on the road, but at least you'll be able to transition a little bit better onto trail than, say, the road Razor.
Yes, I very much agree. Anything technical, this is not the route that you want to go, because maybe they made more changes than we're giving them credit for here. But when you look at the shaping of where the ground contact is, it's really not much, if any at all, wider through the midfoot than what you find in the Razor or the Razor XS or the Razor Elite or the Razor Cloak or the Razor Plus. It's really the same as all of those. And so I've taken these on a couple different things. I was actually going through the Smoky Mountains, and I brought this shoe along and I went out in it, and I rolled my ankle a lot on the technical terrain, like so much that I had to really slow myself down. And then when I had my other pair of shoes on, I had zero problems at all. And I think a big part is that the base of this is no wider. So you have no stability built for the medial lateral stability. This is a shoe that, again, I agree, it's an all-terrain shoe. It's meant for groomed trails or crushed gravel or just like packed dirt that don't have any rocks or roots around or minimal. And it's a shoe that can obviously go fast. It's still, only 8 ounces, and it's got that pop from the hyperburst that people like. So it still has some of that, go a little bit quicker if you want to run fast, but it's just not made for technical terrain. And maybe that wasn't their goal. But if for people who are looking for a shoe that for some more technical stuff, this is not what I would personally recommend. There's a lot more options that have a wider base, maybe have a little bit more stiffness that are built in through like a rock plate or something.
The I think it's the Speed TRL that they have does have like an H plate, which acts both as a plate and a rock plate. So that one does well. This, despite the cushioning, does not have a plate. It is a stiffer shoe. So this and the XS feel like the most rockered Razors because the sole is stiffer. However, I have definitely hit some rocks, and this does bottom out where I've had some rocks go directly into my foot. I'm like, ooh, am I going to feel that tomorrow? Fortunately, I didn't. It was definitely a little bit sore, but there is no rock plate. It's just soft cushion. If you are going hard downhill, you'll feel the rocks. The sole will compress enough. So again, those people who maybe say, hey, I'm going to run a cross country race, but I don't want a minimal cross country shoe, this might be a good option. Those people running, like Nathan said, the crushed gravel, well-groomed trails, and want to have a lighter shoe to maybe do workouts or just like a light shoe in general, another great option. But for technical terrain, not something I would suggest. I would suggest the Speed TRL, and I have used that on technical terrain, and it has done very well. Better proprioception, firmer, more stable, better protection. I've definitely bombed hills on that and had no trouble. So yeah, definitely basically an all-terrain Razor.
I agree. I agree with you on the Speed TRL being a lot better from a stability standpoint. You raced up Baldy in that too, right?
Yeah, I did the Mount Baldy run to the top in that shoe.
Yeah. There's some things that I do hope if they keep going with this, like Razor TRL, because I think it has a lot of potential for like a true training trail shoe. I think one of the things, obviously, if they widen this base that it's on and maybe get some more substance to the outsole, but things that I really loved the upper two. I just want to reinforce that as well. The reinforcements through the midfoot did stabilize my foot well on the platform. I had no issues with the toe guard. They call it toe protect, which it was really helpful to have, because if you see for those who are watching, some of the rocks that I was running out really like took out some of the hyperburst in the toe. And if I didn't have that, I think I would have come home with some issues in my toes. So I think that there's a lot of this upper that I really appreciated and hope that they carry that through. And if they're just looking for, if Skechers did what they want with this shoe, they should be happy about it. Something that can do non-technical trail, or like you said, if you want to do some cross-country stuff, but not have to be in a spike or whatever, this could be that option. So yeah,